Hi everybody, I have been receiving a lot of questions about Medicaid lately. So in today's video, the question I'm going to answer is, can Medicaid take my parents home? Now, the answer depends in part on your parents' intentions regarding their home, right? So notice my words, their home, not your home or your inheritance. In my opinion, your parents worked really hard to get where they are. They have a property. It's my belief that all older adults deserve care, even if the money has to come from the family home, and eventually nothing is left for their children. Now, I know there's a lot of children out there who are disagreeing with me on this because they're like, oh no, my parents' home is my inheritance. It's my money. I need that money to live. Well, a lot of debate there. So disclaimer before I answer this question, can Medicaid take my parents home? I'm not an attorney. I don't work for the government, any kind of state or Medicaid program. My background in sharing this information is through my professional work as a court-appointed guardian, a medical and financial power of attorney, a trustee, and a care manager. For my clients over the past 20 years, I have submitted Medicaid applications. I've created Miller Trusts. I've managed health and financial services for clients on Medicaid, Medi-Cal, whatever it's called in your state, and the PACE program. So if this is super complicated for you and you need help regarding Medicaid, go to your local Medicaid office or long-term care supportive service offices and ask them for help. If they can't help you, find a local care manager, a Medicaid planning person, a Medicaid planning attorney, because this is super complicated. And if you don't understand it and you do the wrong thing, you could unintentionally cause a lot of problems. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website's PamelaDWilson.com. A lot of information there for caregivers about caregiving, Medicaid planning, financial management, power of attorney, guardianship, a lot of help there. Please like and share this video so that other people you know can find hope, help, and support. So to answer the question, to go back to that, can Medicaid take my parents home? I want to keep this super simple because it is a very broad topic that goes deep into a lot of other Medicaid questions. So if you're here and you've investigated Medicaid, not Medicare, but Medicaid, you know it's complicated. You already know that because you're searching on the internet. So this answer only applies to married couples living in the same home. It doesn't address children or other people living in the home. That is a totally other video that you can search for here. So here's the concern. Family caregivers and children, when trying to help parents about Medicaid, can do a lot of innocent things and unintentional actions that can cause problems with getting approval for Medicaid applications. I've had it happen. You know, they have asked a parent to pay for their child's wedding or to give them a loan. All those things cause problems with Medicaid applications. So before you do anything like that, don't put yourself, your parents, or your loved ones in a situation by not learning about and investigating Medicaid as early as possible, especially if your parents don't have long-term care insurance, if they have a lot of chronic diseases, dementia, memory loss, or if there's longevity in your family, if people live to be 100, right? Because eventually the money can and may run out. So find out about Medicaid today before you need it, years before you need it, because there is a 5-year look-back period on money, on things given away, on gifts given away, on properties, depending on the state. So looking at a married couple, let's say one spouse needs a nursing home level of care, which would qualify them for Medicaid, and the other spouse is still healthy. So the other spouse, the healthy spouse, right, is called the community spouse or the healthy spouse. So at least for now, that home where the spouses live is exempt and it doesn't count toward the Medicaid asset limit or qualifying for Medicaid as long as both people continue to live in the home and one spouse applies for Medicaid, is approved for Medicaid, and receives services through what is called home and community-based services. Now, there's different names for that in different states. It could be called long-term care supportive services, other names. Now, if your parents have rental properties or vacation homes, those are not exempt from qualifying for Medicaid. Those are going to have to be sold or something's going to have to be done with them, right? So So living together in a home, one spouse needs Medicaid, they meet all of the guidelines for financial and health issues, Medicaid's not going to take the house, right? Now, when this changes is if your mom or dad who's on Medicaid needs to move out of the house and go into a nursing home, because there's this thing called Medicaid estate recovery. So in conditions, depending on the state, Medicaid can put a lien on the home to get that money back provided for the care of the spouse. But here's the thing, and again, this requires that you talk to a Medicaid planner, a Medicaid attorney, some expert about this. The way around this for married couples is that the healthy spouse can legally transfer the home into their name only when that spouse moves into a nursing home. So no, Medicaid cannot take your parents' home if they are married, living in the same home, and one person goes to a nursing home, they put the home in the single spouse's name who is healthy, who continues to live in the home. Now again, don't do any of this until you contact a Medicaid planner, an expert to help you, because you really do have to do it correctly. So let's talk a little bit about that look-back penalty, because I've had it affect some of my clients. In some states it's 5 years, some states it's forever, some states it's 3 years. So again, you really have to investigate this. It's important to know, because once families realize that Medicaid is a reality, sometimes children will start to convince parents to give things away like cars and property and money, and that really can cause a lot of problems. So the theme of this video is no, Medicaid, if you do it correctly, is not going to take your parents home if certain factors are met. The best advice I can give you is don't make any assumptions about anything Medicaid related. Find ways to get your questions answered, make a plan as early as possible, 5 years, 10 years before. Understand what's involved. Do not wait. Because waiting until a person needs Medicaid can place your parents in a more difficult situation, because sometimes there are wait lists for services, there's wait lists for communities. It can take a year to get a Medicaid application completed. Many Medicaid programs have long waiting lists. So again, consult an expert, don't wait, and plan ahead. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Thanks for being here. Again, visit my website, PamelaDWilson.com. A lot of information there. Please follow and like my YouTube channel so that other people can find hope, help, support, and information. I'll see you all again soon in another video.